Welcome. How are we doing today? Good. So, first thing that we need to do, how many of you have ever thrown an event? Are there some logistics to an event? Are there? We need Mike McCarthy and Michelle, please stand up. How about we express our appreciation to all the hard work that got you in here? Thank you and thank you. This is an awesome event already. You could totally leave right now and have your brain full of good stuff, yes? So let's go right to it. What are the 3 L's? What's the first L? Leads, right? Come on, you can do it. The first L is leads. The second L is listings. The third L is leverage. I am here today to talk about the fourth L. The fourth L. And I truly believe that this is the foundational L of all L's. And you're thinking, is it 7L? Because that would make sense. It's not. The fourth L, ladies and gentlemen, makes a lot of sense for this city because we are in a, does not work. Philadelphia. We're in Philadelphia, yes? Do you guys know how Philadelphia got named? Did you know that? William Penn. How do we know the name Penn? William Penn founded what? Pennsylvania. The entire state of Pennsylvania founded by William Penn. He also founded Philadelphia. He named it from 2 Greek words. Philios, love, Adelphia, brotherly. The city of brotherly love. We're in the city of brotherly love. The fourth L, ladies and gentlemen, is love. It all starts with love. Now, guys, I haven't lost you yet. Love is powerful. Love is your superpower. When William Penn started to build Philadelphia, there was a local tribe, the La Penne tribe. Most of the time, when the British came to America, what they would do is they would come in and just take over the land through battle, through fight, through force. William Penn didn't do that. William Penn came in and struck a very mutually beneficial deal with the leader of the tribe, the La Penne tribe. So instead of being competitive, he was here in a collaborative spirit. I'm going to show you today that collaborative is 10 times more powerful than competitive. What happened is that Philadelphia ended up being the fastest growing city. It was supported. It was one of the safest cities. Why was it the safest? Why do you think it was the safest city? Other cities had problems with tribes coming in, or getting to it was dangerous. But with Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, they welcomed everyone. It was one of the safest cities. You see, my motto, going back to Mike Brody's presentation, my epitaph on my tombstone is with Michael Maher. If you gave him an ounce of interest, he gave you a ton of love. And that is my motto in life. Also, let's talk about this. Rock opened up and talked about his brotherly love. How many of you were here for Rock's presentation? So, great presentation. Here's the thing. In his presentation, he talked about his brother bullying him, right? And they expended energy doing what? Fighting. What if they would have taken that energy and instead of fighting in the city of brotherly love, what if they would have turned their powers outward and used those energies instead of against each other, but to save the problems of the world and serve the world? Would it have made a difference? Absolutely. The fourth L is love, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's the foundational one to your business. So here's the first step. What I want you to do is do me a favor and please stand. You know what? Before you do that, is I want you to partner up. Partner up. Partner up. You got to have a partner for this. Partner up. All right. Does anybody not have a partner? Does anybody not have a partner? All right. Partner up, stand up. Stand up if you have a partner. Please. Stand up. Now, raise your hand if you can hear me okay. Raise your hand. Thank you. Now, what I'd like you to do is the one with the longest hair, you're the A. Raise your hand if you're the A. You're the A. Now, if you have the shortest hair, you are the A plus. Yeah. Raise your hand if you're the A plus. Now, what I would like you to do, if you haven't done already, is go ahead and greet your new friend. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy and you know it, clap 3 times. I can do that. I have a 5-year-old. Now, I want you to greet your neighbor, your new friend, a little bit differently. I want you to greet your neighbor, your friend, as if they just came up to you with a file folder. And in that file folder, they're going to tell you what's in it. They say, hey, I'm getting ready to go to Wailea with Mike Brody for 2 months. I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii for 2 months, but here's the thing. I have a $1 million client. They have already written the contract. They have already negotiated the inspections. It's really all the way complete. But what I need you to do, if you're willing, is I want you to just serve my clients well. I just want you to take care of them. And at closing, they close in 30 days. I want you to just be there at closing. I want you to take care of them with any questions they have. We just don't want to worry about it while we're hanging out with Brody and Wailea, right? So here's the other thing is listen, I don't want 75% referral fee or 50% or even 25%. What I want you to do is I want you to keep 100% of that commission. So I want you to greet your friend like they just gave you that folder. Go. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy and you know it, clap 3 times. Now, I want you to greet your new friend a little bit differently. Now, for some of you, you're going to have to recall backwards. Some of you are going to have to project forward. But today, this event is your 20-year high school reunion. Today is it. Today is a big day. And here's the thing, your new friend, the person you greeted, well, here's what happened, is you both went to school, you guys cruised the Faye, you cruised the cities, you shared stories about boys or girls. If they ever wrote their memoirs, baby, you want first write a review on that puppy. Because they know secrets about you you do not want out. We're talking skeletal, right? So here's the deal. What happens though? We graduate. One of us goes one way, the other goes the other. One goes to raise a family, the other goes to college, or reverse. Journey playing in the background, separate ways. You go your separate ways, but in the last 3 or 4 years, you've reconnected a little bit on Facebook. You've seen their family, they've seen yours. But guess what? You have not seen your best friend from high school for 20 years until today. I want you to greet the person next to you like they were your best friend in high school, and this is the first time you've seen them for 20 years. Go. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you're happy now and you know it, clap 3 times. Please have a seat. Raise your right hand if you can hear me. Raise your right hand if you can hear me. Raise your left hand if you can hear me. All right. So listen to this. So what changed in the room? The energy. Did the energy not just go through the roof? How many of you are more energetic than you were 5 minutes ago? Yeah. The energy went through the roof. But here's the thing. How'd that happen? How'd that happen? Love, maybe, right? I mean, at the very... where does love originate? In your heart. And what did you change? What did you change to change your energy? What did you change? Raise your hand. Let me know. What is it? Emotions. What you thought about. What's another word for emotions? What we thought about. Mindset. Think about this. Just by simply changing your mindset, you changed your energy. All you did was change your mindset about the other person. And let me tell you a quick lesson here. Who is the only person in the world that you can get a file from, a name of a person from, and when you close, they don't want a single dime of the commission, and in fact, you can't give them a single dime of the commission? Who would that be? A referral source, a champion, an ambassador. You have to realize that's what referral sources are. They're people giving you $1 million folders and not asking for anything except to take care of the client. How are you going to greet people differently if everybody you look at is now a future referral source? You going to look at them a little different? Some of you needed this message today. You see, I truly believe that Einstein's E equals MC squared. M is not mass. I think M is mindset. I think energy is directly derived from mindset. So here's the thing that I want you to know. It happens all the time when I speak. Within the next 30 days, you're going to meet the greatest referral source in your life. But what's the problem? You may not know who they are. So how are you going to greet them? How are you going to greet them? By the way, how much does a good greeting cost you? 0. No, how much does a greeting cost you? Millions. It may have cost you millions over the years. Because you see, referability is first and foremost about your greeting. It's how you greet people. I've seen it. I saw all of you. I saw you walk in. Here's the next thing. How about that third one? What was different with the third greeting? What was the difference in the room? Energy was different. Was your mindset a little different? What was the difference between number 2 and number 3? Number 2 was all about what? Business. Number 3 was all about relationships. Which of the 2 greetings were more powerful? Third one. It's all about relationships. The first step, your first step here today, is I want you to change your mindset about prosperity. Prosperity. Isn't that a great word? Repeat after me. Prosperity. Isn't that a great word? You have to just, and here's the thing I want you to know. No matter where you're at, when it comes to prosperity, you're closer than you think. You're closer than you think. You see, with a subtle mindset shift, you went from less energetic to more energetic. One subtle mindset shift, a subtle transformation in your greeting, and guess what? The referrals will be attracted to you. Prosperity will be attracted to you. So, I'm going to talk to you today about 3 critical business cycles that you need to know. The chase cycle, the referral cycle, and the generosity cycle. Now, how many of you are in sales? Okay, I'll ask again, just less subtle, right? How many of you are in sales? Yeah, even the cameramen are like raising their hand. And is that the truth? we're all in sales. Well, I want you to think back to how traditional sales is discussed, how it's taught, right? So, how is it taught? I'll give you an example, right? So, how many of you have ever been chased by a stranger? Right? We're trained to talk to strangers, which is kind of interesting because didn't Grandma tell us to not talk to strangers? Who knew that Grandma would give such great business advice? But here's the thing. Have you ever been chased by a stranger? Raise your hand if you have. Yeah, isn't it? Okay, it's kind of scary, isn't it? And let me ask you this. What are your two options when you're chased by a stranger? Fight or flight? Well, that makes this fun, right? Here's the thing. You chase someone, and here they come to you, and they're like, yeah, I'll work with you. You're like, that was a little too easy. What was that person looking for? They were looking for the fight, and you just came along at the wrong/right time. They were looking for a fight. And what do you call it when two people are fighting, Rocky fans? What do you call it? You call it a boxing match. You call it a battle. Yes? Right? So, this is your transaction the whole way. Right? How many of you have experienced what I'm talking about, right? You have boxed this jerk right into your heart, right? So it's a battle, and at the end of a battle, how do people feel? Exhausted. Exhausted. You're exhausted. They're exhausted. Are they going to refer you? They're not going to refer you because you wore them out and they wore you out. Or you just gave in the whole time, right? And then you kicked your dog, right? Not that I condone kicking dogs. I have a great dog named Lucky. So here's the thing, right? It's a battle. What do you have to now do at the end? Chase again. You got to go back and chase. So you go and you chase. And here's what's interesting is you chase them, but what's their choice? Flight. They flee. And what are we told? What are we told to do? Chase them, right? And you chase. You finally get them on the phone again. And what do you talk about? What do you say? What are you talking about? You talk transactionally. You may talk about your stats, right? Here's an example. You may say, well, you know what? I can sell your house in 4 days for $10,000 over asking, right? Or something about how great your marketing is, right? And they go, nah, I'm all right. So they run away. What are we taught to do? Chase, right? Now you tell them, no, really, I can sell your house in 2 days for $20,000 over asking price, right? Yeah, not good enough. But here's the deal. You're such a good script master. You're so good at handling objections. You are the sales master. You finally have them cornered because you're so dang good. They're cornered. What's their only option? Fight, right? But what did you do all the way along the nurturing process? Nice word. What did you do along the way? You overpromised, did you not? What have you set yourself up for with the transaction? Failure, under-delivery. Under-delivery. You under-deliver, how happy is your client? They're not very happy. Do they refer you? Do they refer you? So what do you have to go back and do? Chase. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cycle, the chase cycle, the cycle of discontent. Aren't you excited about sales? So here's what it looks like. You chase. They either can fight or flight, which they do. And here's the deal. You chase, you overpromise. You overpromise, you overpromise, and finally you put them cornered. Isn't that awesome? Because you're good. And then you're in for a fight. At the end of it, what do you call when two people are fighting? It's called a battle. At the end of that, they're not going to refer you. You got to chase. Welcome to sales. Aren't you guys excited? That took the energy right out of the room. Good job, Maher. So, let me ask you this. Look at the chase cycle. Now I want you to look at this one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the referral cycle, the attraction cycle. Let me ask you something. What do you notice about this cycle compared to the last one? What do you notice? Raise your hand, shout it out. Yes, ma'am. Oh my gosh, it's shorter. It's a lot less steps. It's simpler. Yes, ma'am. Same thing. What else? No battle. There's no battle in there. This is a beautiful cycle, ladies and gentlemen. 3 steps. Get the referral, under promise, over deliver. Get more referrals. Is that a great world? I have a couple of points on this cycle that I have to make. One is, listen, the beautiful thing about a referral that I see people making mistakes is telling them the truth. What we really need to do is tell them the truth about how their transaction may go. I'll give you an example. So, inspections. That's fun these days, right? Inspections. So, buyer, we're gonna do inspections once you get the home, and I want you to know something. Is you're looking at all the beautiful things and all the ways that this home fits your needs, but I want you to know something about the inspector. The inspector is going to set your home up there naked, and it's going to look for all the blemishes, all the zits, all the pimples, all the problems. When that inspector is done, there could be 100 things on the summary sheet. Hundreds. And here's the deal. I want you to know is then we're going to pick maybe 3 or 4 of the major items, and we're going to go to the seller and say, please fix these. I want you to know something. There's a lot of homes across the United States that sell as is. Do you know what the word as is means? What's it mean? That the seller's not going to do anything, right? I want you to know that's their right to say they're not going to do anything, you buy the house as is. Have I made myself clear? All right. Now, you do the inspection. Did I lie at any point there? No. 100% truth. Nuclear case truth. Truth. You do the inspections, 47 things come up on the item. 47. Is my buyer upset or happy? Think about that. 47 things wrong and they're happy because it's not what? It's not 100. Here's the other thing. I ask the seller for 8 to 10 things. Is my buyer upset or happy? They're happy. They're like, oh, Maher, he's turning the screws on them. Working for me, baby. The seller comes back and agrees to do 4 items. Is my buyer upset or happy? They're happy. Little happy plus little happy plus little happy equals big happy. Big happy. I want to also ask you, how do they feel if the seller comes back and says, I'm not doing anything? How do they feel? They're fine with it. They're fine with it. They don't say things like, well, they're not going to work with me, I'm not going to work with them. Or those dirty beep, 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 beep. I can't believe they're not going to do anything. How can they not do anything? Yes or no? How about you just avoid that problem from the get-go by telling the truth, by giving the nuclear case scenario for what their transaction may be like. But you can't tell a lead that, can you? But you can tell a referral that. So you lead with the truth. You see, you've been how to wow. You've seen all these things about exceeding expectations and how to wow and customer service. You read all these books about what to do above and beyond. And I want you to know something. You don't have to do anything above and beyond. What you have to do is reset their expectations and then just do what you do, which is very powerful. Is what we do important? Is what we do difficult? Is what we do is handle the biggest financial investment of their life? How about we just do what we do and we get their expectations set where they should be? Is that okay? How many of you are up for that? So by setting their expectations, we exceed their expectations by doing what we do. It's not about cupcakes and cookies and Starbucks cards and all these different things. It's about doing your job. It's that easy. But here's the thing. We want to get on this cycle. How many of you want to get on this cycle? You just want, like, let's go, baby. Let's get on it, and let's get more people on it. How many of you open that? Right? Give your neighbor a little high five. Say, I'm on it. So, how do we get on the referral cycle? Everybody wants to be on the referral cycle, but I have good news for you. You can get on it. but there's a step. You see, before we can get on the referral cycle, we have to get on this cycle. We have to get on the generosity cycle. You see, here's the deal. Generosity. When you are generous, and I mean proactively generous, you help someone above and beyond. Not in a time of need, but when they shared with you a challenge or a goal, and you help them overcome or conquer the challenge and achieve the goal, right? So, what do great people do when you have acted generous to them? When you have led with generosity, what do great people do? They want to give back. What's another word for give back? Reciprocity. Generosity leads to reciprocity. And I don't mean giving when somebody has a problem or a big deal or tsunami, hurricane, tornado. Listen, we should give back in those times. What I'm talking about here is proactive generosity. You see, what I do in life is I help people. I train salespeople how to be proactively generous and appreciative receivers. Those are the two things. You're not taught that anywhere else. I want to teach those two things. Generous, proactive generosity. Generosity leads to reciprocity. I want you to know something. This is where you jump on the referral cycle. We need to train the people we know. The people who want, they're begging, they're craving to refer you. Craving. They want to refer you so bad, but they don't know. They don't know what you need, who you need, and here's what they don't know. They don't know that you want and need referrals. Because what is the image that we portray to the world? Superman! Your image of success could be preventing referrals. What we have to do is communicate in such a way that their reciprocity leads to referrals. Can I help you with that real quick? So, how many of you have ever been asked, how's business? So you've been asked, how's business? I'm going to give you a quick answer for that. Hey, listen, business is business. Business is like the ocean, right? I can't determine it. I can only hope to navigate it. But what I'm most excited about is I'm already 40% of my way to my weekly referral goal. Which leads them to say what, typically? What's your referral goal? What's your weekly referral? My weekly referral goal is to give 10 referrals and receive 5 referrals. So with that thought in mind, who do you know who I can help? I'm here to help. And I am here to help. Here's another one. How many of you have ever been asked, how can I help you? Somebody's asked you that. How many of you have ever been asked, how can I help you? How many of you have ever been asked, what can I do for you? How do we typically answer? Oh, well, I'm fine, don't worry about it. Trust me, if you say that, they won't worry about it. And you have lost an opportunity. When somebody asks me how they can help me, so ask me right now. Referrals. Listen, when you come across somebody that you know is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I want you to know that I want to be that go-to person. Okay? Ask me, what can you do for me? So what can I do for you? What can you do for me? Referrals. Listen, I can move anyone anywhere. I can help anyone anywhere. You have a friend moving from Kansas City to Atlanta or Philadelphia to California. Just remember that I can move anyone anywhere. I can help anyone anywhere. I would interview all the agents in Kansas City to find out who they should list with to sell for the most amount of money, least amount of hassle. And when they get into Atlanta, I'm going to set them up, interview all the agents, get the best buyer's agent, the best negotiator, so that they can maximize the biggest financial investment of their life. Does that make sense to you? All of those lead to referral conversations. Yes? So the answer, when people are looking to reciprocate to you, the answer is referrals. The answer is referrals. What's the answer? Referrals. You know what? Much better than St. Louis. But we can do better. What's the answer? Referrals. It's that easy. It's that easy. And what do referrals lead to? What kind of business is a business based on referrals? Starts with a P. Revenue minus expenses. Profitability. You see, generosity leads to reciprocity. Reciprocity leads to referrals. Referrals lead to the most profitable business in the world, profitability. Keller Williams was built on this foundation. Profitability. So I want you to do me a favor. Clear your hands. Clear your hands. Put your hands out here. I know you got neighbors real close to you. It's okay. You've already hugged them. You're okay. All right. So it's okay. It's okay. Repeat after me. It's okay to be ridiculously profitable. Hands out. Hands out. It's okay. It's okay to be ridiculously profitable. Pull it in. Pull it in. It's okay. Where the heck did we start apologizing for profit? Seriously. Just be ridiculously profitable. The government will love you. So what does profitability lead to? Close. What does a few years of profitability maybe lead to? Starts with a P. Prosperity. Prosperity. But here's the thing, right? You're profitable year over year after year after year. You have prosperity. You see, prosperity is not just having money. You know that, right? Prosperity is having money and time and choices and what Philadelphia is all about, which is freedom. That's what prosperity is. And here's the thing. Prosperity leads to more what? Generosity. But here's the thing. That higher and more powerful prosperity leads to what kind of generosity? Higher and more powerful generosity. And that higher, listen to this, that higher and more powerful generosity leads to higher and more powerful what? Reciprocity. Trust me on that. The higher you go with your networking, the faster it will repay you and at a higher level. And guess what? The higher and better reciprocity will lead to higher and better what? Referrals. And guess what? Higher and better referrals leads to higher and better what? Profitability. And your profitability leads to higher and better what? Prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the back wheel to your bicycle. There's two cycles I've talked about that you want to be on today. The generosity cycle is the generator. The front wheel follows, and that's the referral cycle. Does that make sense? You see, how many of you want to be the most referred agent in your area? Right? How many of you want to be first? Like first, right? Number one. How many of you want to be first? You see, you always thought that being first was about being competitive. But being first is about being collaborative, working with others, helping others achieve goals. Isn't it funny? Isn't it awesome that in life we're always worried about achieving our goals of prosperity and wealth or whatever it may be and conquering our challenges? But what we have is the answer was right in front of us. The answer is helping others achieve their goals and helping others conquer their challenges. And what do? They reciprocate by helping you do the same. Generosity leads to reciprocity, ladies and gentlemen. Reciprocity leads to referrals. Referrals lead to profitability, and profitability leads to prosperity. How about we get a quote from somebody that is pretty famous? So Proverbs 11:25. I am here to explain to you that this is a promise over 2,000 years old. In Proverbs 11:25, it says, "A generous one shall be a prosperous one. He who refreshes others shall be refreshed himself." Here's the thing. Does it say, hey, once you become like prosperous and stuff, why don't you like start giving? Does it say that? Does it say that? It doesn't. The promise is a generous one shall be a prosperous one. What's the first step? Generosity. Generosity is the first step. The real path to prosperity is the generosity cycle, in my humble opinion. So, everybody wants to be first. Here's the deal. Keep feeling that. That drives you. Keep feeling the need for being first. But I want you to be first in love. I want you to be the first in moral excellence. I want you to be the first in generosity. Martin Luther King Jr. Are those words of wisdom? Powerful words. Now, here's the thing. I've kind of told you the why. I've kind of told you the what. How many of you have ever seen the Rocky movie, right? It's like standard, don't they just show it in the schools here? I mean, seriously. It's like phys ed, Rocky 101. Here's the thing, though. How many you remember going to Rocky? You're sitting in Rocky, and you're like watching it, and it's like the most awesome. I mean, real Rocky 1. I mean, literally, you're like, you walk out of that movie theater, and what's your energy like? What are you doing? This is you walking out of the movie theater, right? And you're walking around. You're so pumped up, right? And you know, what are you looking for? You're looking for a what? You're looking for a fight, right? But what's interesting is that 35 minutes later, you find yourself in a back alley, laying there, bloody, muddy, and out of it, because you don't know how to what? You don't know how to fight. And you're like, I'm going to get knocked down so many times, I'm just going to keep getting up. Just going to keep getting up. And finally, something clicks, and you just lay there, right? Because that's good. It doesn't hurt anymore when I lay here. But here's the thing. The reason you're laying there is because you don't know how to fight. And you know what? There's so many people that are talking, it's about relationships, right? Love each other. But and how many of you are thinking, how do I get on the generosity cycle? How many of you are thinking that right now? Right? How do I get on the generosity cycle? And you might think, well, with a billionaire or a millionaire, what do I have to offer them? When I meet one-on-one or I network with people, what do I have to offer? What value do I bring? I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy. Well, guess what? I'm here to put the T in generosity. I'm here to show you 7 ways that you can provide value today to get on the generosity cycle so you can get on the referral cycle and get more referrals, but more importantly, have the prosperity you deserve in your life. Are you ready for this? So, 7 ways to give massive value first. 1 is thought. One of the best things you can do is think about others. Thought. One of the best Facebook posts I do on a weekly basis is I post on somebody else's wall just thinking about you. How many of you make phone calls to other people? One of the best scripts in the history of the world to attract referrals is just thinking about you. Start your call with just thinking about you. You see, what's the power of a handwritten note? Don't you ever wonder, what's the power of a handwritten note? The power of a handwritten note is you know that they were thinking about you when you weren't there. How does that make you feel? Awesome, right? So thought. And I truly believe that in our lifetimes, we're going to find that thought is like light. Light has photons. Light has mass. Light goes under different behaviors. Wave theory, electromagnetic theory, all of the above. We never knew. I mean, look at light, right? I truly believe that in our lifetime, we're going to find that thought has weight. How many of you have ever been thinking of someone, and son of a gun, they give you a call? How many of you have ever had that experience? How the heck did that happen? Right? Your thought went out, it was triggered. The power of prayer, I'll leave that to your organization. 2, talk. We can talk positively about others. You see, it's easy to champion a champion. When somebody speaks highly of another, what do you think of the person who championed the other? What do you think about them? You think positive things about the person who championed. Let me tell you what you set off, the chain reaction you set, is that when you speak highly of another, it frees up others in the room to speak highly of you. And the reason for that is they can now champion you because you have shown the willingness to champion others. And they know that by championing you, that you might, down the road, champion them because you've shown the behavior. So people will champion you. It's easy to champion a champion. Speak highly of others. Talk. You can provide a ton of value in people's lives, yes? Right? By talking about others. Mike Brody talked about Kiyosaki, yes? He spoke highly of Kiyosaki. Is Kiyosaki here? He's not. But was there value to Kiyosaki by Mike Brody saying something? Absolutely. And wasn't it great to hear his dinner conversation? So Mike Brody showed talk is cheap when you're talking about yourself. Talk is powerful when you're speaking about others. Now, the third one is talent. This is what a lot of times you get paid for. How many of you have real estate talent? You're like in the top 10% of all agents in competency. How many of you would fit in that, right? Right? All of you, yes. You're competent. You're good. But I want you to also know that there are other talents that you can provide massive value with, right? How many of you can figure out Gmail account, get somebody set up on a Gmail account, right? Not all of you, but some of you. How many of you could get them set up with an antivirus? How many of you could help someone move? How many of you, right? There's all these talents that you have that aren't real estate where you can provide massive value. Now, the fourth one is money. You can invest in others. You can invest money. You can give money to great causes. Treasure is the fourth way that you can provide value. And that's what's funny. That's the one that holds a lot of us up. Is I don't want to meet with the millionaire or the billionaire because I just don't know how I can provide value. Listen, they don't want your money. They've got it. They don't need money. What I've found from millionaires and billionaires, their problems are never about money. Never. Number 5, and I want you to know, number 5 and number 6 are the two that I use the most often. 5 and 6, how do we provide value in a relationship? Is team. This is the people in your network. This is your community of contacts. These are the people you know and the people they know. Is you can connect. When you connect to others, how many people win? When you connect to other people, how many of the people win? Is it a win for the two who connect? Yes, but who else is it a win for? It's a win for you. How much did that cost you? Nothing. Be a connector. Be a connector. Now, I do that all the time. I'm always looking to connect great people. Now, the next one is 6. This one is probably my favorite, and that is to teach. Teach. We have a philosophy in the generosity generation. That philosophy is each one teach one. When you come to this event, what are you going to go and teach? How many of you came to this event with the explicit idea that you're going to take, learn it, and teach it somewhere else? Who do you think has the best notes in the room? Right? When you learn to teach, you learn differently. You learn it deeper. You're taking personal responsibility for the information. And here's what's cool about this, is when one person teaches another, how many people are learning? 2. You see, team and teach are synergistic positives, and how much do they cost you to implement? None. Nothing. Now the last one is number 7, and this is your most precious asset. This is the thing that you can give. And by the way, this is the number one thing that I give my top referral sources, my ambassadors. The number one thing, this is most precious to me ever, as only somebody who died once can give, right? I flatlined for 37 seconds. And when I came to, what do you think the number one thought in my head was? I hope I have more time. The 7th is time. Give this sparingly. Give this understanding that your time is precious. But you know what? Those who refer me most get more of my time. They get more of my 7 T's. They get more of the way that I'm able to provide massive value first. So these are the 7 ways to give massive value first. And the last thing is Zig Ziglar and Dave Ramsey and Seth Godin. I had the opportunity to speak with them, and they challenged me. And they said, listen, you need to boil the secret to life, love, and business down to one sentence. Think about that for a second. This is my purpose in life. This is my suggestion to you, is give generously, and receive appreciatively. Give generously, receive appreciatively. Give generously, and. It's not but, it's not or, it's not maybe, it's not then, it's and. Receive appreciatively. Be proactively generous and be appreciative receivers. That, ladies and gentlemen, is prosperity. That is what I hope that you take away from here today, is that there is a real path to prosperity. You're closer than you think, and it has to do with putting the fourth L into action. You see, generosity is love in action. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the generosity generation. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.